All right, let's
Let's
go.
go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to JRC Stock Talk. We're here tonight with a company that made a tremendous move yesterday in the markets, up in the morning as high as 150% in trading and did almost $400,000 in trading volume. I thought that was a monumental move. I wanted to bring it to you here first on JRC Stock Talk. And without further ado, let me introduce everybody here. But before I do, please like and share this video. DM a few of the people that are looking for OTC market companies to invest in. Right here, we're going to dive into due diligence where you can make a sound decision based on the most relevant, up-to-date information right out of the horse's mouth. So thank you for joining me on JRC Stock Talk. Remember, we're not licensed advisors or financial planners, so do your own due diligence, know what you own, and if you have a question on how to find out information or what to look at, by all means, get in contact with me, Shido, or OTC Method Man is what I call him, Patrick McKay, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have. First, we have on the line with us, we have two gentlemen from STEM and we have Eddie from Viago. So, Eddie, if you would introduce yourself to everybody.
Happy to do so. And thanks for having us on, Josh. So I'm Eddie Head. I'm the president of Viago, and I've been in this industry for roughly 20 years now, as of this next season, and came into partnership with those at Secret prior to Viago as we formed this company, and am a proud partner of the Ben Shabbat family, the founders of Viago, and now proud partners of STEMTech as well.
To give a brief history, because I know investors and traders really like to know about track record. So I understand that you created a company and brought it to the closest cusp you could to being a billion-dollar company. Could you explain a little bit about your history with that?
Sure. So it's a little overstatement to say that I created the company, but what I can tell you is that I was the president of that company for the majority of its life. And during that time, I was responsible for running the day-to-day business and for the strategic growth of the company as president and chief strategy officer there. And our product offering was, in simple terms, a travel and lifestyle membership, largely travel. What we did was group travel in particular, and we were really good at curating these really exceptional experiences of 4- and 5-star pre-planned vacations for groups of, let's say, 20 to 3,000. We would take over hotels and resorts around the world. We had thousands of trips that were offered annually and hundreds of thousands of customers around the world. And entering into the COVID era, obviously with only a single product and that being travel and its offering, it was very difficult for us to sustain during that time. And it ultimately was our undoing. However, as we went into that, we met the folks at Secret, found a fantastic kinship. We'd actually entertained a potential merger about 4 years prior and decided it was a great fit. We decided to weather the storm and create a membership that was going to offer more of day-to-day lifestyle benefits. As we got through the COVID era and into an opening of that, revenge travel came into full focus for the world, and now we're sending more travelers around the world than ever. Our membership now is basically built on all that success, all of that learning that we had, the good, the bad, the ugly, the things we did that were unique and the things we did that were wrong and right. And over the course of the last 2.5 years, we've grown rapidly. But the real story is the past 6 months as we've been telling the world about Viago and the launch and the complete reinvention of this company that comes to the world on December 3rd, in fact, with a completely new platform. So that brings you up to date.
Now, for everybody listening, that's really important as an investor because you're looking at, if there's a strategic merger happening, you're looking at the current business and you're also looking at what's coming into the business and the people behind that. And it really makes a huge difference when you have somebody coming in with a great track record that already has been there, done that, and conquered, because they're coming in with the mindset they're going to do it again. So if you would, I want to introduce Chuck and John. They're both from STEMTech. Chuck, if you would introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Chuck Arnold. I'm the chairman CEO of STEMTech. We've been having a lot of fun bringing natural products to the marketplace. Our issue with growth is not having access to clients or not having access to the market. This is exploding. It's of getting the word out there and having enough product to provide the marketplace, which we're now able to do.
Sounds like a great pairing. John, if you would introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm John Meyer. I've been with STEMTech now going on 20 years next year, so it's been quite an adventurous ride. And our mission is to bring good health and wealth to everybody that will be joining our process.
Excellent. Now, people, just so you're aware, they just said that one of their challenges was having more customers and access to the ability to grow. And Eddie just explained that that's his forte. So I can't think of a better pairing, especially when you have great products to offer. So without further ado, we'll get into the questions. And great questions there are. So I think this would be to John or Chuck. How does STEMTech differentiate in the highly competitive anti-aging and wellness market?
Well, number one, STEMTech was formed 20 years ago, and it was based on an entirely new category that we created called stem cell nutrition. And stem cell nutrition is really anti-aging and longevity, and it's all natural. It's not a stem cell therapy process or a procedure. There's no moral issues with injections and extractions. And so we differentiate ourselves that way, and we have a whole system on release, circulate, and migrate for our products to make people healthier, more longevity and anti-aging.
Perfect. Because I know there's some myths out there about stem cell products, but I think you set yourself apart in a great way. What kind of revenue growth do you guys expect with the result of the merger with Viago? And how soon could we see that reflected in the financials?
Well, I'll speak on our behalf. Our view of the opportunity immediately is very aggressive, and we think that we're going to see a response to the merger and the efficiencies that it avails to both companies by Q1. As I said, we're replatforming, and Secret has already established itself as a brand of aspirational skincare and nutrition. So the complement between the two companies on the nutrition and skincare line is obvious. We have complementary products that really don't overlap, but rather merge together quite well. And as we go into this next season, being able to combine how we view the vendor relationships we have for optimization, how we can utilize the new optimization afforded us through all of our new replatforming as well. That goes from everything from accepting payments with what I believe is going to be a first of its kind payments acceptance platform, because it allows us to take virtually any kind of payment in any region of the world from any customer. We've enabled 4 different payment solutions to be working in harmony within our point of sale. And then afterwards, we've created a digital product that's going to help to get our customers more involved in offering their products and services to the world by referral and receiving virtual currency they can use throughout the ecosystem. And every one of those touch points incentivizes them, or we're actually able to make a little bit of an override. So instead of payments being a cost center for both companies, payments are going to become a revenue center in a lot of ways for us. We expect that that's going to help both STEMTech and Secret/Viago accelerate their growth in Q1. By that point, we'll have had 3 months of growth to watch, measure, and adjust however we need. And then, of course, there's just the efficiency operationally. You put all of that together, along with the idea that we're actually now accelerating our nutrition line and planning on helping them to launch their new STEM Pets line. I think the first quarter is going to be a really big growth quarter for us. So I guess the answer, simply stated, is 1 quarter.
1 quarter. And did I hear you allude to potential crypto payments as well? Or
So
some token?
not only, yeah. So there are two different solutions here that we're working together to create, that creates a unique ecosystem of payments for us. And it in and of itself is a strategy for both revenue and for making frictionless commerce for us bilaterally a reality in our industry. In the industry of direct sales, where a lot of our business really flourishes, there are really only 3 rules: take the money, pay the money, and deliver a world-class product. right? If you do those three things first, you're doing better than a lot of the companies in that industry. And one of the things we wanted to solve was, how do you enable the ability for anyone to pay the way that they want to in today's world? What does that mean? Well, it means crypto. It means alternative payments, Maestro, SEPA, so forth, whatever. It means Alipay, WeChat Pay. It means PayPal. It means split payments. It means credit cards. All of those are being enabled within our ecosystem. STEMTech's going to be rewarded with the same hard work we've done together to create that platform. That is also going to enable crypto payments. The second half of that is a unique wallet that actually allows you to use any of your crypto wallets to fold into our wallet called Viago Pay. Viago Pay issues you plastic, an actual MasterCard, Visa-like credit card-like device. It's just basically it's just a debit card that automatically tops up your payments. Yes, you can use crypto. Yes, you can use credit cards, bank accounts, alternative payments, and automatically top that up, swipe it anywhere you want, use it online, and earn valuable dollar-for-dollar points in our ecosystem to generate more and more utilization. So I think that that's going to really unlock payments for both companies immediately.
I agree with that statement. There's a lot of people that have been holding crypto for so long, and there's not a tremendous amount of ways to spend it. So if it's something that fits seamlessly into their life for everyday purchases like skincare, anti-aging products, I'm sure they'll do it. That's awesome.
We agree.
Next, once combined, can you share any type of revenue or market share targets that you have over the next 12 to 24 months?
John, you want to take that or you want me to?
Please go ahead, Eddie.
So, I mean, immediately we want to see revenues double next year. We think that that's a realistic target. And although it may sound really aggressive, if you understand our industry and where we come from and understand the supply chain disruptions that we sustained this year and how those are being overcome, you would recognize that that's an attainable target realistically. I'll give you an example of how. So going from where we believe today we're going to end the year combined somewhere around 20 million, we believe that we can double that this next year through a number of unlocking factors. One, all of those efficiencies are going to create more margin for us, and that's also going to create more frictionless commerce between us and our customers. So we're going to be able to take the sale more seamlessly, and I think we're going to retain more customers because of it as well. We've proven historically that that's the case if you could take the pain out of that. Two, we're going to be offering membership to more customers than ever before. Three, we're going to be stocking the shelves. Where we ran into the issues this last year as a company at Secret, we saw a similar sort of effect at STEMTech. Secret sustained a lot of injury to its just total number of SKUs because of the war in Israel. 75% of our SKUs were sourced at the Dead Sea. We were a Dead Sea mineral-infused skincare line, and when the war struck, it basically cut off our supply chain immediately. Well, we pivoted, and we did so rapidly, but it takes time. And over the course of the following 6 months or so, as we were coming into a clear focus on Viago, we shored up our nutrition line. And now on Black Friday, which is the biggest sales day of the year for us historically, we're going to be introducing more than 24 new nutrition products that match our brand promise. They've all now heard about the STEMTech partnership. Likewise, we're going to be working with the STEMTech crew to help see that the efficiencies in manufacturing and fulfillment are maximized for both companies. So we plan on helping both companies stock the shelves and getting product to customers that basically represents business in hand we have not been able to fulfill. Our average wallet share before was $146 per month per customer. We're now at about 96. Once we put these products on the shelves like that, we should see an instantaneous jump. And that 146 is only fluctuated with a few dollars year over year. So it's not an if for us. We feel like it's a certainty if we can just put the product back on the shelves. And that's our plan over the next quarter.
So to give a full picture, what was STEMTech's revenue over the last year?
John?
The revenue over the last year was 5.2 million.
So that'll be a combined roughly, and this is rough, it's not exact, but 25 million in revenue, saying there's absolutely no growth in any way, shape, or form, right?
I think for the year, it's probably realistic that we're going to end up a little bit south of that, closer to 20 to 22 is what I would say.
Okay.
That's based upon our current run rate. Now, again, this is our biggest growth month every year. We expect to have a really big holiday season. But remember, we're also coinciding that with a membership offering through Viago and the platform launch. Barring anything unforeseen, we expect this to be the biggest growth season we've seen in years.
Excellent. All right. Well, how will the synergy between STEMTech and Viago contribute to cost efficiency and increase profitability margins?
Well, as Eddie mentioned, there will be a lot of synergies because we can maximize the efficiencies of manufacturing, combining the sources for the supply chain, and actually the buying power of the new entity will be much improved because we'll have more volumes given the people that we have in STEMTech and Viago now, plus reaching out to new people that can come on or come back, if you will. So we're just going to have more efficiency with being able to buy more. And, you know, in the factory, whether you make 100 widgets or you make 10,000 widgets, you still got to clean up the factory machine the same way. And so by getting this combination, we have more utilization of the equipment and supply chain that will really cut down to driving costs out of the bottom line.
Yeah, increases margins. Excellent. So historically, STEMTech has done about 600 million in revenue. I mean, where do you see that revenue? Where do you see your revenue targets reaching over the next 3 to 5 years with the combined companies?
Well, for STEMTech, we'll be seeing forecasting double-digit growth as a result of having new product launch with our STEM pets. We're going to be doing the same thing in the $303 billion global pet industry, and with our unique natural products that will be introduced to the pet industry, it's going to be, we think and forecast, a monumental growth opportunity for us.
I don't know about you. There's dog bakeries and pet stores opening up everywhere, and they're not selling pets. They are appealing to the people that have pets, and it's quite hilarious. I've taken my dog in there myself, and I had to take him back out because he couldn't figure out what he wanted.
Well,
Josh,
it's amazing.
There's a lot of families.
Really important. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. As we've done our research on this in today's world, there are a lot more people that are choosing not to have children, but they're taking pets instead, and they treat their pets better than they do themselves. And this is just a real opportunity because, you know, when you think about the cost of insurance for a pet, or if you think the cost of, hey, my dog or cat is sick, got to take it to the vet, then it's a $2,000 MRI bill. You know, you want to keep your pet healthy and age well. You know, it fits right in with the concept that we have for anti-aging and longevity. And so let's take care of those pets too, for having a happier life together with their owners as well as the owners.
What were you going to say, Eddie?
I was just going to say that, you know, when they told us about this product, we certainly got excited because, you know, we totally agree that this is a growing market. We think that every customer today that we have would also be interested in this. 2/3 of Americans have pets, and we believe that they would immediately be attracted to this because, you know, if the science proves right, it would just be a no-brainer for people to purchase this for their pets. And we all understand our relationship with our little fur babies is crucial. It's so personal, and everybody's willing to put those extra few bucks into their quality of life and their longevity. So we're super excited about this for both audiences.
Awesome. I know I am too. If you have kids like I do, I have 5 children. You can't live life without having some sort of pets. It's like more along the lines of how do I limit the number of pets we have? So, yeah, I'm anxious to see the pet line when it launches. And STEMTech, the operation's already spanning multiple countries. First, I want you to share with people how many countries your operations span at the present moment, and then also, what type of growth do you foresee happening into different countries and different markets over the next few years?
Well, STEMTech is currently operating in the United States. Mexico is our largest market, as well as Taiwan, Canada, and Ecuador. We're planning on launching in Colombia in the not too distant future, but what's really great is the synergy that we have with the merger with Viago. Our footprint automatically got a lot bigger, and there's an opportunity for a longer and bigger market for us to penetrate. So the growth projections that we see with the combination, Viago can do more in some of our Latin markets, which encompasses Ecuador, Mexico, and even the U.S., given the population of the Hispanics in all of these markets, that we can leverage both of our companies together.
I agree, John. The thing is that, when you combine the two companies, we have over 40 markets that we address directly. We're already open in a little more than 40 now. You combine the markets that don't overlap, and I think 47 is what my last count was. We're currently processing registration in 3 additional markets that we think could be top 10 markets for us as well. Those include some Asian markets and some European markets that have expressed desire to be a part of our customer family and even grow this business opportunity as well. So it's going to contribute significantly to our future growth, I think, is the answer to your direct question. I expect that over the next few years, we're going to find that our international business combined is going to be at least 50% of our business globally, maybe more. Even as robust as the US market is, I can tell you historically what I've seen happen over and over again in the Asia and European markets is it can grow at a speed that dwarfs the speed of growth in the United States, it seems. Especially, you can see a quadrupling of business in that market, even if it's at a quick pace. It's just kind of a cultural difference in the way that they share in that market. It's common behavior, and it works really well to spread your business proposition quickly. And we're already getting some traction in the Philippines, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore. There's interest in Taiwan. We have a business in Thailand as well that's just popped its head up, and we just opened through NFR India. So we're going to deeply invest into those markets to see if we can spark growth.
Wow. I mean, the anti-aging sector itself is growing at a rate of like 8% annually. I mean, how does STEMTech plan to outpace the industry, and what numbers back up that competitive edge?
We have 8% growth, and when you think of just what makes that up in the nutraceutical business, being a $700 billion business, and you add the pet products to that being a $300 billion business, and with the joint venture with Viago, there's even more with travel and other opportunities that they present. So our growth is going to be, I think, having a very hockey stick trajectory, as what Eddie was just saying a moment ago. It's really very special because more and more people are very focused on anti-aging and longevity. It's in the news all the time. There's a lot of things that are developing in the pharma and science world about how people can live longer. There's when you think about the average age of a person now, it's actually in the United States, it was dropping. It used to be 78 years, 79 years, and now it's dropped to 73 for men as an average lifespan. Well, there's a lot of focus on how we can grow to live to maybe be 100 or 150 years old and be youthful, not just being that age, but being youthful at the same time. So science is really moving along. A lot of biohacking in that area, and STEMTech, wants to be part of that as well. And certainly taking nutritional supplementation on a daily regimen to do that, and that combined with Viago products that they're about to launch, we're offering a great place for people to come and take care of their healthcare issues.
Well, that leads right into my next question. I mean, you guys have been a pioneer in stem cell nutrition for a while, but what new products are you guys releasing in the near future?
Well, we started out with our RCM product, Release, Circulate, and Migrate, which is the effect of, initially releasing your own adult stem cells from your own bone marrow to circulate and do the natural rejuvenation and repair. And then we also introduced Orastem toothpaste, which is, as you might imagine, is a all-natural product. It freshens your breath, whitens your teeth, is an antimicrobial. It attracts stem cells to your mouth, and it importantly promotes good gum health. If your gums aren't any good, then your teeth are going to be a problem. When you think about all the germs and illnesses that could, migrate into your body through your mouth, we figured that that was really a key part of overall health. And then we just introduced Select One as our brand name, Select One Stem Cell Peptide Night Cream, which is a great product. It's got a patented ingredient called QXP to help with the breakdown of the matrix metalloproteinase component, which is a body's natural defensive mechanism. So it doesn't know to distinguish between good and bad things going into a cell, and so it keeps things out, but it helps break down the resistance so that the product can have a deeper penetration for moisturizing your skin and elasticity. So that's our current lineup. And again, the new product that we were talking about was the STEM Pets. So that'll be coming out projected early next year, and we're very excited about that. So that's growth. And we're also working on other products, too soon to divulge what they are, but in the space, in the genre, so that we can continue our growth in the health area and offering great products to people.
Well, with the ones that you can mention and have, I mean, what are the expected revenue contributions for those new product innovations over the next fiscal year?
Well, for the RCM, which is the standard, those are, and our release product is the most purchased. We continue to project, more growth. The STEM Pets, we're projecting that market, being what it is, will be potentially adding, I would say, $2 to $3 million as an estimate to our revenue based on the sales, just on our current distribution model. And when we add, considering Viago and their people and potential other channels that we might do, it's really a little bit difficult to forecast that right now.
Fair enough. How do you expect your product portfolio to grow in terms of sales percentage, or for each of the respective categories of products that you have?
Well, we think that they're going to certainly expand. I mean, the pets one, we're going to be keeping a real close eye on that. We will be expanding our Select One brand, adding some more items to that as a category to get more products into the marketplace. And on the stem cell release, circulate, and migrate, our projections there are going to grow because we're going to be developing more new products and even boost the sales that we have now.
I want to pose the same question to Eddie concerning Viago.
Sure. So
how many, you have a bunch of different products. Do you have any new products in the pipeline, and what type of growth do you expect for each one of them?
Yeah, in fact, I think that, the conversation we had about Viago Pay could be categorized as a product, because the truth is that it offers solutions to people that travel or are just looking for a better, more secure, and more flexible payment solution. I want you to think of it like Apple Pay, but one that enables you to send and receive instantaneously virtually any kind of payment to anyone within the network, and to use it at points of sale using the pay type you want, but still be seen as a friendly and familiar brand to merchants. So regardless of whether they're taking crypto, you're paying in crypto. Regardless of whether they're taking Alipay or WeChat Pay, you're paying it. And when you travel, that peace of mind and security, knowing that it's just a piece of digital information tightly encrypted and allows you to do so safely, represents a product. And you could, in fact, I think, build an entire concept around this one product. So that's one. The other thing that we're doing is we're expanding our footprint on the curated experience side. We're building new relationships based upon our historical relationships, and some new ones as well, to answer the demand for product worldwide on the experiential side. Now, this doesn't just include curated vacations. We obviously do that really well, but the other thing we do is cater to the local the local out-of-towner who might be looking for something that's more localized in town. Let's say they want to go to a nightclub and enjoy a nice drink, or go out and dance with their partner, or maybe they want to see a show while they're in town. We're creating experiences there and bringing the attention to those brands and those businesses locally, and driving value to our customers by negotiating private access, VIP-like perks, front of line like benefits, those kinds of things. Another thing we're doing too is to expand our product line. We want to work in tight partnership with the STEK team to develop products that are second to none. We're keenly interested in the idea of longevity. We feel like that, as you know, we're growth engineers at Viago. We've done this for 2 decades in our combined companies and seen what it takes to drive rapid growth, you know, month over month, year over year, and we believe we can do the same with the products that they have. We believe that their products are a bullseye for wellness and longevity. We believe that working together with our marketing and sales teams, we can put together a strategy that's going to help to showcase what they do that's so beautiful and unique. We also think it's a perfect complement to our brands and our products. So we want to work with them to see where there's a happy sort of coexistence, maybe in a common audience, or even through separate products that cater to both independent audiences. You put all of that together, and that's why we call ourselves, you know, a lifestyle company. It's not about just one of these things. So the development spans experiences, payments, and peace of mind, and access to the world, and however you want to pay, and then of course products.
So not only are we going to take you to a amazing destination, but we're going to help you look beautiful when you get there.
Josh, you must have read the branding. It's, in fact, our motto right now is Life Amplified, right? But we talk about it in these terms. Look your best, feel your best, and experience the best the world has to offer. And that's what we want people to do. People are not just looking to get out and see the world. They also want to look great. They want to feel their best as well. And between the two companies' products, we believe we have an offering that's going to help people maximize their quality of life, get them out of their small screens and get out and actually see the real world. Work with the people that actually are hoping to earn their business and their trust, that are out there trying to fill their hotel beds and hotel rooms and their restaurants and their venues for entertainment, and even the shopping and dining benefits. But then make sure that they're supplementing their body with, you know, God-created, ingredient-based, incredibly organic and vegan formulations that actually help people live longer, better, and help people feel and look their best. Put that all together, that sounds like a better quality of life. And we're going to continue to home in on that as a brand promise with both companies, and see if we can't build some real loyalty for people that want to improve their life and maybe even just sustain or protect their quality of life.
That's awesome. I see the whole model. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, people that go and spend money on vacations and traveling to amazing destinations, there's a whole anxiety-filled moment prior to getting there. Do I look good enough to do this bathing suit?
I know where you're going.
How does my skin look? Oh no, I have a zit. There's moments that people go through, and I think you guys are hitting the nail on the head with that niche of market. Now,
Josh, let me mention one thing.
Yeah.
Go back just a little bit. When Secret was at its zenith with products and their services, they did $260 million. They haven't had any products for a year, a little over a year. We're now marrying the two companies. All of our products, which are considered the gold standard in health and wellness, are now going to be available to all of these waiting, thirsty customers that Secret already has. 260 million to now 15 to 20 million on a trailing revenue, because they haven't had product. So when you think about that combination, that's why I'm very excited. They're marketing our products as well as the products they've got. I just wanted to mention that.
It makes sense. I mean, COVID did a lot of things to a lot of companies, but the companies that are still standing, like Viago, like STEK, when paired together, I think they've already weathered some storms that have taught you amazing ways to pivot and to get around stuff and to continue moving forward and grow. So, I mean, you're set up for a great victory here. I mean, SimTech and Viago are targeting explosive growth with the products being married with the sales force, being married with the already attentive audience that Viago has. Are you guys projecting any specific revenue milestones within the next 5 years?
I've got a big target. That, we want to see it be $100 million business by 2027. In fact, I think halfway through 2026, we will reach that clip. Certainly, I think by 2027, we should exceed $100 million in the combined companies' revenue.
Now, historical projected numbers on what you've done in the past and how you've grown. Do you have any scale on what you've done in similar periods?
Sure. John, I don't know if you want to speak first, but I can give specific examples.
Thank you. And from the beginning, when STEMTech started in 2005, the idea of stem cells was novel. No one knew anything about stem cells. You talk to people and their eyes glaze over. And from 2005 through 2016, our growth rate was really phenomenal, and we were at $72 million in sales, and we're going to continue to grow at that time. So historically, we've done it, and we're going to do it again.
Yeah, and we've seen explosive growth over several periods, not only with Secret, but in my former company as well, that we were able to engineer. And part of it is, again, as Chuck was saying, the biggest problem we've had over the past year and really growing the business faster is a lack of product. We had no choice but to pivot. We've done so. We've weathered that storm, and we've actually watched the business rebound. We've had double-digit growth in our largest markets for the last 3 months. So for 3 months, even without those products, we've been able to pivot our focus to membership and to nutrition products and been able to grow the business during that time without 75% of our SKUs. So we know it's not only possible, if you just look at that growth rate alone and extrapolate from that a course that is consistent with what we've done over the past quarter, you'll see that the business could double in size next year. You compound that growth rate with what happens in our industry with a growing audience of those who are eager to spread the business as well, and it can really accelerate. A little different way of thinking about direct sales models versus conventional businesses, either in CPG or e-commerce, is that yes, we're a services and product-based offering. Yes, we're an e-commerce model. I've already told you how replatforming is going to create all of those efficiencies. So we're going to get more out of every dollar to begin with. That's one big win. But the other thing that is maybe understood in the business, not understood in the business world, is how a direct sales model can explode and grow by an order of magnitude within a single year. It's because the audience that's engaged as customers may be loyal. They may be with you for life. They may continue to take your STEMTech products, your STEMPet products, your Secret skincare products, our Life Buy products. They could be taking all of those and be loyal customers and not have any interest in building the business. But the business grows on referrals and word of mouth. That's our model. And we reward that richly. Now, although that's carefully monitored and capped, it works really effectively as it's growing to accelerate the effect of growth. So let's say you've got 10% of your audience actually out there working to spread the word and help you to grow your business, while the other 90% is consuming products. That 10% is where that growth is coming from month over month. In addition to that, we have the wallet share that we're going to replenish, like Chuck was saying. You add the two together, you're seeing a compounding effect. I've got 10% of my audience creating that month over month membership growth right now. That's because of word of mouth. That means as that's growing by double digits every month, I have that many more people representing the product, representing the opportunity, representing all of the services that we offer as well. It just accelerates. So these numbers are not only attainable, we've watched it happen over and over and over again. At the moment, we're seeing that the work that we've done is paying off. We're going to continue to fuel this fire as best we can with products and help the STEMTech family as well do the same in their community.
So you're talking about percentages. I'm curious to know, what type of percentage of market share do the current market leaders have, and what is your goal that you're aiming to reach in market share over the next few years?
John, you want to talk about that? Because I can tell you for us, it's really simple. we are not a company that has an equal in the marketplace. You know, if you pigeonhole us as a travel company, it wouldn't tell the whole story. If you say that we're a product company, that's certainly not accurate either. If you look at us as a more lifestyle membership, you would have to look at a combination of other offerings that approximate what we do. We're trying to be disruptive. Our idea here is that we actually provide something that is a watermark of excellent living for people. We want people to look at our brand and say, I want to, need to be a part of this community of Viago and STEMTech because it helps me live better. So what does that mean in terms of market share? I don't know. It's, you know, we're at an $11 trillion industry in travel, expected to grow another, what, 8 trillion over the next 10 years? Okay, 16 or so trillion when you combine wellness, longevity, stem cell, and travel. You know, if we were to, I've made this joke before internally, if we, that's a huge pie, right? You asked me what ratio? Yeah. Okay, well, if I said I could have 10% of that, you guys would be, you know, you'd be singing a song and doing a dance. I would be happy sticking our fork into that pie. Just taking the crumbs off that fork at 17 trillion and growing. That's a baseline. That's just today with those combined markets. So my answer is that we'd like to create a new market, one that actually showcases that people can choose to be affiliated with a membership that replaces so many of the other things that they're paying for today, saves them money, improves their quality of life right now, starting the day you get started with a part of our family, and that just starts to spread by word of mouth.
Well, it comes down to the last question. I think it's a really great question and a perfect way to end an enormous amount of information about STEMTech and the strategic merger with Viago. Where do you see anti-aging and longevity sector heading in the next decade? I mean, how close are we to achieving groundbreaking achievements that could extend human lifespan to 150 years?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the interest in pharma and other biotech companies, certainly STEMTech, you know, we're going to be continuing to be the leaders, the pioneers in this arena. The focus is more on anti-aging and longevity than it ever has been. People are much more health conscious, and building on the platform that we now together have with Viago and STEMTech and the development of the new science, our projections are that we're going to have a real great segment of this. And again, STEMTech was the creator of the stem cell nutrition category. Innovation is in our DNA, so that we want to continue to develop more products and support. You know, with the aging, there was just a report out by the Journal of American Medical Association that talked about I mentioned earlier, the average age coming down. People are more interested in the longevity, in being healthier. And that includes not just taking our products, but lifestyle. They want to be more interested in healthier foods than they are taking now, diet. They have to be more interested in exercising and rounding out their well-being, not working 20 hours a day, but have quality of life so that you can spend more time. And through our network marketing model that we have, we afford that to people because they can be working and having their network, if you will, going out and generating income so that they can go off and enjoy time and still be on vacation and have an income. So, this is a combination of not only the products, but the business model that we have, so that we have the quality of life as the core of, and the essence of what we're trying to offer people.
Well, that's what I have for questions as far as about the company. I think you guys have summed up quite a lot of information concerning how STEMTech and Viago marry together perfectly. The sales force coming in, the already attentive customer base of Viago being able to have access to products that they've been missing for a while is going to be a huge bump in revenue. And I'm looking forward to seeing that over the quarter-over-quarter growth. Also, the new products that are going to hit the market. You've got other products coming in. They're going to help increase that sustained growth. And I think I'm happy to have had you on here. Now, there's only a few other questions that investors or traders want to know that haven't been covered so far, and that would be more regulatory side of things. Chuck, if you could, give everybody a general overview of the share structure and how STEK looks at this present moment.
Sure. Right now, we have about a little over 130 million shares outstanding. We've not spent any money on market awareness for the last 3 years, reorganizing the company. Today, if you look at our consolidated revenue, you can go out and buy stock at about 25 cents on 25% of gross sales. We have intellectual property and patented items that you can't get anywhere else. The items that you're talking about in STEMTech are patented. And remember, they've done $600 million of business with 100% money back guarantee and less than a 2% return. So now you take that story and you give it to professional marketers, which Eddie has and trained, and the combination, in my opinion, is explosive, Joshua. I'm looking at all these people that haven't had the Dead Sea products since October 7th, and all the potential revenue that Eddie's going to bring in from the combined efforts. John, on the other hand, his experience with Shackley and Arbonne, he's got 35 years of logistics, making sure that all the promises that Eddie and I make are fulfilled on that back end there. So I'm really looking forward to 25 as an exciting time.
Awesome. How many shares are in the float, if you don't mind?
About 45 million.
That's a tight float.
Yeah, there's not many shares out there. And with this, we plan on doing market awareness more than we've been able to, because our biggest issue with STEMTech was fulfilling the orders. We've never been able to keep up with our growth. And so now with the combined company and access to what we consider the initial inventory issues that we're going to have at STEMTech and Eddie's going to have for Viago, it's just a good time. From a regulatory standpoint, we feel that the combined company, we're OTC QB. We might be looking at additional public markets to expand to as our revenue grows. So it could be a very exciting time for investors to look at the company, look at the history of revenue from both companies, the current market that you can buy stock at, and then the combined company. And the one thing I will finish with, Joshua, is you look at the infrastructure of these two companies and you look at the combining of operations. The cost of SG&A is definitely going to go down because the model is the same with both. You're not going to need 10 people to do the job of 2 or 3 people now that Eddie's had to deal with or John's got to deal with. So the combination from a structural, a financial standpoint to me is just very exciting.
That excites me too, guys. I look forward to having you back on the show and having a follow-up after you've finalized the merger, after you've had your first Q out. I think it's going to be a great time to come back on and update shareholders and investors on where you're at. Now, just so you're aware, you have begun, after 3 years of a hiatus, you've begun market awareness, and it started here today.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Everybody
Josh.
put your
Appreciate
hands
it.
up like this. Everybody go like this. Viago.
Viago.
All right,
Thank you,
guys.
Josh.
Without much further ado, thank you so much for joining the show. Please, if you're watching right now, go and share this show with other people. I think it's really worth your time and involvement to do due diligence on STEMTech as a company that you may or may not invest in. Talk to your financial planner. Talk to your licensed broker. It's worth a conversation. And if you want to get updated information on a regular basis, right here on the bottom, it says right there, STEK. Their Twitter account handle is STEMTech, at STEMTech. It can't be more simple than that. Go give them a follow. Engage in some of the tweets and information that are coming out, and stay tuned because they have a lot of news that should be hitting over the course of the next year. So you're going to want to stay abreast of that. You heard it here first on JRC Stock Talk. And without further ado, we're going to transition into our next segment where we break down today's market trading, the gainers and the decliners on OTC markets, and the due diligence behind them. Thank you guys for joining us. Please share this show, and we'll see you in a few seconds.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys for coming on. All right, let's go. Well, guys, what do you think?
Excellent. It was really interesting to hear what these guys are up to.
I agree. You know, I got to ask the most important questions at the end of, what does your share structure look like? What'd you think about here? 44 million shares in a float.
Not bad, man.
It's
When he said
this
100,
is
go ahead.
55 actually. It's 55.
When he said 100 and some million outstanding, I knew right off the bat this is a good moment. I mean, I think they held up pretty well after having huge gains yesterday. And I know right now we're going to go through OTC gainers and decliners. Like, I'd like to start out with STEK, look at the chart, see the type of move they had and how they're sustaining, and get your thoughts on that, guys. So, Pat, bring up your screen, my man.
All right.
Not
All
that
right.
way.
Let me just get it all under control here. I had it under control, and then it became out of control.
You have it under control, man. After all, you are the Pat McKay.
Oh yeah, very. Everyone's looking for him. There we go.
All right.
There it is.
There we go. Look at that.
You'll have to forgive me. I don't know if I.
Cold. You don't have to tell me.
No, this is a whole other thing that I have going. So I had a sinus surgery years ago, and it looks like I'm due for another one. And it's just crazy. I don't know if anyone out here has had it, but I mean, like, it's just shut down. You know what I mean? Like, one side is just shut down. That's it permanently. You could spray it, you could do whatever you want, but it's a structural issue. Very frustrating. Like, I think I've been blowing my nose this whole time you guys were talking. Like, there was nice move and a nice recovery today. Hey, Cheeto, what do you think?
Yeah, unexpected good move yesterday. Obviously, lately we haven't seen much big reactions to any catalysts, but they really did it yesterday, and on huge volume. I think it was record volume from what I see. So yeah, it's a pleasant surprise.
It is yeah. If you look at it, I mean, it's far and away, I think, the best volume it's ever had in its history.
Yeah, I think so. It's one day they had one or 2 days, like many years ago, where it was high, but I think this was record volume.
Yeah, this was excellent action. And, I think a lot of people, because there's been such a muted reaction to merger deals as of late. I was saying on the stream yesterday, I of the last 20 I bought, maybe one has moved. And I think that for this to actually make this move and then sustain it, you know what I mean? Like, because sometimes some of these things will move and they're just right back to zero the next day. But to sustain it, and you could see not heavy selling, it's nice, it's just refreshing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was very refreshed by it to see it. And I'm very hopeful that it could maybe become something that will get people taking a look again. You know what I mean? And I think that's the big thing is, we've been waiting for something to happen that has sustained movement and continuation, where people might come back and they might say, you know what? Okay, I'll look at some OTCs again. You know what I mean? Or and not just like look at some OTCs, but like look at something other than, buying the same 5 billion float triple.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
You know what
And
I'm
that's
saying?
what we hear a lot of. Yeah. I mean, it sustained more than 100% gain is holding it. I mean, what? Just a few days ago, it was trading at I had to get my glasses out to look, 2.5 cents.
Yeah.
And they closed today at what, over 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, about 5. Yeah.
And it's nice to see it. And, you know, I thought it was interesting when we were chatting with the management team beforehand. You know, one of them said, you know, this is a tougher market now because the world is becoming more of a trader world than it is an investor world.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, if they're the way that we were raised on the OTC, it was like you find a good merger deal, you hang on, and let them create something. You know what I mean? And that happens so. And I think that's a lot of the reason why they keep coming back to old trips and stuff, because to them, because of the culture now, it's just a trade. If I get a flip, you flip it out 80%, 40%, whatever, dump it, who cares, right? Like, I mean, not actually believing in an investment is much more rare, and a company to be able to actually keep something going and not just unload on everyone the second they can, you know, see some volume, it would be huge. And you know, time will tell, obviously here, but they have a golden opportunity to because I think there's a lot of people like all three of us who, you know, if we got something actually treating us respectfully, would throw a ton of money at it.
Yeah, and I'll hold it. I won't sit there and trade it.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
that's the thing.
yeah. So a nice couple days anyways.
Well,
Yeah,
look,
it's going to be interesting what it does from here now, the next few days, next week.
Yeah.
Gonna be the tell.
from my understanding, they clearly stated they have not done any awareness in 3 years. Now, what that means is they haven't had people flip the stock like that, just buy and sell and dump. You know, it's like no pump and dump action for 3 years, and they have a tight float. And they're about to come into a period where there's going to be a lot of news and a lot of action happening. They're going to be active on social media, and they're going to come out of the gate with some awareness, not promotional stuff, but awareness. And I believe we might have a chance to work with them on that respect, but we'll see how that plays out. But if so, I really think that we can turn something great into this. What was their high back in April that you're looking at? What was the high?
10 cents.
That's another
Yeah,
double from here.
It went on a big run back then from like 2 to 10.
Yeah.
And not on a lot of volume either.
No.
This can move with a little bit of volume. This can move.
I'm excited. Yeah, I
We'll
mean,
see what
even
they
if
got.
accidentally we
This
had
guy's
all the
asking-
viewers that come on this
guy's asking,
show.
what about the liabilities on the balance sheet? Let's take a look.
Yeah, it's a good question because they certainly have some good amount like in relation to the assets. It's a fair question, and maybe
There is 9 million in liabilities currently. Accounts payable, notes payable, convertible debt. You know, my answer to this is always the same. Like, I think that sometimes people are always so quick to say, hey, you know, did you see they have convertible debt? And then, I mean, that's the whole point of having a stock on the stock market, is to raise capital. You know what I mean? So the relationship with whoever has the convertible debt and the liabilities is ultimately what's going to determine the price action. And, you know, a lot of times we see things on the OTC that have like zero liability, zero convertible debt. And as a result, they also have zero volume, because there's no incentive to use the stock as it's intended. So I hear you with the liabilities, but at the end of the day, you can't necessarily correlate liabilities to movement or negative movement one-to-one, because I mean, here's a perfect example, right? Like
Pulling up eyeless.
right. So I think once upon a time, someone would have looked at this, and because I mean, this was like infinity debt, endless dilution, tons of liabilities, and if down here, back when it was in trips, and a funny story. I mean, for me as a Canadian, I wasn't allowed to buy it. I had 0.0011 on ILS when they announced the deal. But if I make all my trading decisions based on, well, it could be diluted, I really can never trade again. You know what I mean? Because that's the case for all of them. So yeah, there's a lot of liabilities there, but you can't correlate it one-to-one, because and if your concern in buying things is that it might dilute one day, unfortunately you won't be able to buy anything.
Well, let's look at this. Let's look at this in a more realistic way. Okay, now there's companies that over dilute, and really they have tons of toxic debt, and they're not managing it properly. They're really making the most of being a public company and trying to raise capital. But if you look at a deal like STEK, they have some, but they haven't over diluted. Their stock structure is still nice, and yet they're doing what they should do from a fiduciary responsibility in raising capital to be able to expand growth, manufacturing, sales, and grow the company to bring value to the shareholders. So, I mean, if they're not abusing raising money and they're not over diluted, having some debt is not a bad thing.
Yeah, and I'm not.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure if money was particularly talking about dilution risk. Maybe his question was maybe just on a fundamental basis, like because they have a negative book value and that stuff. So that's
for
maybe
sure,
he meant that.
And usually, like, I mean, and it absolutely could have been that, but I thought it was a good idea, a good opportunity to kind of get my answer in, because I think a lot of times people will be hesitant to buy something because because of the liabilities, and that's understandable. But at the end of the day, the only control you truly have is because you don't know when the note holder, debt holder, whatever is going to sell. So really, the only control you have is of your own position and whether or not you're willing to go red. And
I think it's a very good point you made. Definitely.
And that really is the final answer of it. And I think a lot of people would like to imagine that, like, you buy it and then you can't ever sell it or something. I mean, it's just literally, hey, here's what I bought it at. I don't want to go red, and then that's it, right? So, and that's really my answer to the question about dilution risk. I mean, everything has a dilution risk, I suppose.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps answer the question, Money. I don't know if it does, but that's usually my boilerplate answer. Yeah.
Well, not a bad answer,
Yeah. So we'll see, but exciting, sharp guys, and boy, it would be nice to see that type of a setup make a move here. You know what I mean? Like it would be very rare. Otherwise, I mean, how have you been finding it, Shido?
The OTC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as we talked about it a few days ago, it has been getting really rough, I found.
Yeah.
And I think I can judge it pretty good because I trade so many different stocks and I observe so many different stocks. So I have a good picture of what the overall market is, and it has been getting really pretty bad for a couple of weeks. The last 2 days were good, were much better. The overall strength was much better across the board. So we will see. But obviously, the volume and the liquidity is far away from where we expect it to be, since it's November. I mean, if it's July right now, then I would say okay. But in November there should be more volume, there should be more interest, and it's just not, because right now everybody is on crypto, I guess, and it's part of it, I think.
It seems like it.
I have been very frustrated with the fact that, like, every market, crypto, big board, I mean everything has been right through the roof since Trump was elected. And this has, and they just threw this baby out with the bathwater to go do those things. I mean, and we saw obviously with the brokers now are restricting how much people can buy.
Fidelity, I heard. It's awful if that's true and that's their policy going forward. I mean, obviously they will lose every single OTC guy. It's crazy.
Let me read the okay, so I was talking with the guy behind the scenes, Gabe. He works with STEK. And he sent me a message that he got from one of his investors. It's like, on his trading platform, it said the share quantity is limited due to the average volume of the security. Please edit the order. And they wouldn't allow him to buy the stock. He was buying more than what the average volume was, and that's why they were limiting his order.
Yeah, that's what's happening now. Is brokers are doing that.
Yeah, it came up a week ago or so. Fidelity came up with that strange thing. And I guess so far they kept it, and if that's confirmed from the broker, then you just need to move away from Fidelity as fast as humanly possible. I mean,
I haven't seen that with Schwab yet. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's not at Schwab, and it's certainly not at E-Trade. From what I hear, I have Schwab. It's not there. Definitely not there. But I cannot imagine that any sane broker would do that unless they really want to get rid of OTC pink sheet guys. I mean, because otherwise it makes no sense.
Well, okay, so if you're actively trying to protect the investors, it would make sense to limit them buying a percentage of the daily volume, because then they would be able to get out of the positions they hold and not get stuck with them if it comes down to a situation. I'm not saying I'm advocating it. I'm just trying to think about the logic of it.
Brokers weren't regulators. You know what I mean? And they've been sticking their nose in this OTC action for a while now, with restricting if people can buy a yield sign, restricting if people can buy on the gray market. Like, and they think they're protecting you, but the reality is, like, here in Canada or Shido in Europe, I could load up as many trips as I wanted of something on the gray or expert market, wait for it to go pink, and just crush bids all day long of Americans buying it. You know, so what are they doing? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm hoping with the shift in power that they'll address some of these things, because I know Trump definitely I'm not talking about politics, saying I'm on his side. I'm just saying Trump understands trading is important to the American economy and to the world economy. And if he can come and help some of these regulatory standings with OTC companies or emerging growth companies, I think it's going to go a long ways. And I believe there's an interest in him doing that. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
Because my question will be one of, to get those things to happen, it takes lobbying power, and lobbying power takes money. And, so the question is, is there money behind these stocks that are doing $5-6 grand a day enough to lobby the government effectively? That's the question.
But I would possibly say that the people that have lost the tremendous amounts of money they've lost because of the lack of regulatory or the lack of things being run properly would have money behind it. Because that, like you said, you've dipped your toes in the water and you've tried crypto, and holy crap, is it way more anxiety filled, no break. Like you would much rather be trading OTC market stocks. So there is a huge interest from people that understand that to get behind something like this. And I think there is a lot of money there. But right now, I think they pulled it off on the sidelines.
Yeah, I mean that's the issue. It's over regulation, and OTC markets itself as an organization. I mean, to my eye, is doing everything they can to make it harder somehow.
They surely don't help. Yeah.
No.
And now it's even worse because now we all trading blind, on the share structure stuff and and on details that change on certain stocks and labels get added and we have no idea. It's crazy. I had 2 cases in the last few days where I didn't realize that one of my stocks that I own, since I own so many, I cannot manually look up every single symbol in the morning. I had twice the situation that I didn't see that the stock had a grace period, and it's getting really bad if that's the case, because I just saw it because the stock went down and I saw it going down, and then I realized what happened. But this is so bad from OTC markets that they don't let the share structure boards work anymore, and so it's everything is going against OTC retail guys right now.
Yeah, it is. And so yeah, it would take a really good opportunity to turn this thing around for sure. Here's some movers. Dollar volume column is here.
Yeah, if it's not over like 10,000 in volume, don't worry about it.
Pretty much.
That THBD or TBHD or whatever, I've seen that for a few days in a row.
That's the old NECA, NECA.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I haven't heard NECA in a while. That's where it went, is THB or TBHD.
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's funny because I'm seeing people like shocked it's doing so much selling, and I'm like, really?
Why are you shocked? Look at the old company.
Yeah.
History repeats itself.
That tiger's got the same stripes, baby.
Yeesh.
Boy, a bunch of bags, eh?
Yeah, there's like, I was blown away yesterday because I looked through all this. The only companies that did like triple digit money trading for the day were like, there was a QX company and a Chinese company, of course, and a bank. And other than that, I mean, there's a few that traded like $1 million, but they were big companies that are just listed on OTC. But there was no other volume being had at OTC, and here STEK was banging. I was like,
it
wow.
was great to see.
Yeah. Is there anything popping up like that today?
No.
Jeez. I also looked, I've been looking more at the number of trades in a day. And the reason why, I mean, if you can't get out of what you're buying, not saying I have a trader's mentality, but if things start to go south and you can't get out of it, that really sucks.
Yeah, you have to really use your position size, properly. I mean, you cannot buy on the thinner the stuff is, the less money you can buy into. It's just logic, You cannot buy on the stuff that had 80% spread, low float. You cannot put $3,000 in because you will never ever get it out if something goes wrong,
Yeah. People say about a tight spread, they say, well, if you weren't a flipper, you wouldn't want it. But the problem is that if you want volume, you need people to feel that there's bid support in something, and that's just the reality.
I worked in a chop shop, man. We got on the phone and we called brokers. We're looking at a level 2 and a level 4. We're looking at time and sales to see what type of blocks are going through, and we were looking at the list of market makers and the bids. And what I would spend most of my time doing was calling people and saying, "I know you're not going to buy stock right now. Just put in a bid. I've made you money before. You've bought and you've had big gains. So do me a solid. Give me a $10,000-$20,000 bid over here, a little bit below value, so I can start to stack these up." Because I have people that are waiting to buy based on whether or not the bid starts to move. And as soon as people started seeing the bid get built up, that's when they started pulling trigger because they feel safer. They're like, okay, well, at least if things go south, I know there's a big bid right here that I can be able to get out of my position or something. And it was the telltale sign of a stock turning around was the bid building.
For sure.
Now, people are scared.
Well, and I don't blame them because I mean the amount of times that I've seen a good deal or a good merger, bought it, and then been the last guy to buy it for the next 6 calendar months.
Oh, God.
I don't have enough fingers and toes to count.
Yeah.
You know,
One thing that was fair enough today was CEOs, because
yes,
of,
I pulled that up because there was an interesting
Sios?
story there.
They
No,
did a show
CEO.
last night with Super Robot. I think only like maybe 200, 300 people listen to the show.
Different company.
No, we're talking about CEOs.
Oh, not CYIO.
Because it
Okay.
had a tweet from Musk.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So CEOs, this lady does. It's I pulled it up here. She does veterans care. And Elon Musk had tweeted a clip or a screenshot from her interview she did on Fox about how veterans are going homeless. And so there was a picture of the CEO sitting with a member of the Fox News team talking about this, and he tweeted it, and then she interacted with the tweet, obviously, which is why the move today on CEOs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm looking for his post right now. Apparently, the guy puts out a ton of posts.
He puts out a ton. It's somewhere down there. He didn't say much. He just said that it's ridiculous, the situation. That's basically what he said.
And it really is. A good friend of mine just died recently. A good friend of mine died just recently. She has had a doctorate in psychology, and her whole life was spent focused on working with veterans that have had traumatic brain injuries that find themselves homeless because they're not able to function in a way to support themselves. And she spent her life getting them into housing, getting them proper help and treatment to address it, and then finding ways to get grants and other things so that they could get establish themselves in a way that they could be self-supportive again. And I tell you, her work, Mary McLaughlin, was amazing. But it took everything out of her because it's an epidemic of grand proportions.
It is. So this made a move intraday, a ton of selling, but then made the turn at the end of the day and was turning back up. So I have a trend line that it kind of has been struggling with for a long time. To kind of break above it and stay above it could be nice. And so, we'll all be forgotten tomorrow after it's buried under 100 more Elon Musk tweets. I couldn't say. But, if you wanted to.
Did he put that tweet out yesterday?
No, today. Early today. And she tried to get him involved more than, but I don't think he wanted to play. But I mean, obviously, if he gets involved more, or let alone if he would like tweet the symbol or something, then this.
Oh no,
this will run.
He knows it's his stock. Crazy. He's not going to do that unless he's invested. He'll tweet about Doge.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so stay above 25. Maybe you got to move there.
He had good volume, relative, like one of the biggest volume days ever. So.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the
CHCD,
tweet. There's
this is
too
the
many.
old NECA. So, yeah, it's just pretty much 100%. Oh,
You looked up NECA.
yeah, I mean, old habits die hard, but
Yeah.
pretty much just 100% selling right now. Need to break touch 4 and then stay above 3. And the problem you have is it's a 25% loss if you make a mistake, or 50% or more.
What, the spread?
So, yeah, well, it's just every tick down's 25%, and then so it's up to you. But really, I mean, if you people have been sitting here all month with zero price action now, so there's that. Good luck. Sing,
Sing.
people are really mad at Sing. Tell you what.
What's going on?
Well, it was on the big board and it was at multi-dollars and it got dumped so fast. And then, so having a bit of a bounce today, but I mean, just went basically straight to zero. Like, look at this.
Holy goodness.
Yeah, like, I mean, people just got absolutely massacred after the
Where
release.
was it?
Absolute worst stocks out there.
Before it got dumped, where was it?
Multi-dollars. It was fresh off a split in August. And it got dumped so hard that it dumped through markets back down to the OTC, basically.
Wow.
Now they're trying to put a bounce on it, but you have people who are pissed. Like, it's just unbelievable what they did.
I never even saw the top of it. You kept on scrolling out,
You can't really find it. I mean, it's just through the roof.
Oh my goodness.
It's wild.
Yeah, a true rug. So they're bouncing it. You want to try a tech bounce on it? I think it's still decently thin, but I mean, it's always selling, and people are mad as hell. So
it doesn't show any float information at all. It just shows authorized 6 billion.
All old. Yeah, this is from the end of December or the end of September, and it's been pretty much nonstop selling. You could see it nonstop selling since. So nasty business. If they get a bounce on it, it could be a great bounce, but man, they're angry.
Yeah, I cannot trust them. I can trust a lot of.
There's the Chinese company I was
companies,
talking about.
This is too much.
China King Kong, right? Is that what they call it? I don't know.
King Young.
Okay.
Chi King Young.
Chi King Young. What are they?
Yeah,
up
no,
to?
it's been on the advancers list for a few days in a row.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, these Chinese things, they run it up and then
drop it,
dump it, and hopefully you made it.
Yeah.
That's it. And, you know, and I tried to pick up a dip on one, a month ago or so.
No dip to be had.
It never moved again. Never moved again.
Never.
Nope.
Yeah, it seems like, okay, so the game would be if you could set up an algorithm to buy $1,000 worth of every Chinese company that initially gets in the public markets, like reverse merger, S1, whatever, and then dump it within the first 2 weeks, you'd be good.
Or you could plant your money in the ground. Listen to this.
Yeah. You might grow a tree.
Yeah. There's that. I don't know what the scoop is here. Boy, that is thin. Have you been tracking this one, Shido?
Oh yeah, I posted this one yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I own it, and I saw that bids were coming in, and I posted it yesterday at 60 cents that this is firming up, and it hit $2 today. I was pretty happy about it.
You own some, right?
Yeah, I own.
Good.
Obviously,
Did you sell?
Yeah, I sold most, not all.
So you use the old adage, you pull all your money out and it's free riding shares, right?
No, I don't. I'm not I don't. How do I say it? I'm not a fan at all about this putting out your money and then house money, because I think there is no house money. that term is I know that I know how people mean it, and obviously I do the same when I sell in steps upwards, but I never sell a certain percentage or 50% or a third, because every situation is different for me. It's very individual. It depends on so many things, how far the stock already went, if I think it's overvalued now, or what is the catalyst. And there is so much that goes into this, I much rather decide for myself how much I still want to have in the stock, dollar amount, and so I always sell in like 5, 6, 8, 10 steps on the way up. So but yeah, obviously I take off. The more it goes, the more I take off.
So it looks like the news here is that the guy is in a battle with the SEC.
That's not positive news.
Well, it could be positive news if you consider that the chairman of the SEC is stepping down.
He is.
So maybe people are getting ahead of the case getting thrown out. Who knows?
I have no idea why somebody suddenly saw the buying a few days ago. It's a really good setup, and they had a huge split, like in 21, I think, in 20, 1 to 1 million, and it's
forward split or reverse?
No, reverse, 1 to 1 million in 2020. And since then, they haven't diluted a single share. I mean, it's basically.
Why would you need? It had to be a tiny float after that.
Yeah, that's why it moved like this. I mean, it has 250,000 float.
Jeez.
Think about how fat that must have been.
Bloated pig.
If it's 262,000 after that split.
Well, add a million, add 6 zeros.
It was pretty bloated, and that was a record reverse split that I saw. I saw 500,000 once or twice, but a million. I think this is the only 1 million I saw, and it's unbelievable that the FINRA processes stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what's so funny about it, because you hear FINRA getting involved in, we're doing this and we're looking out for that, but they process this. They process RNVA once a year.
Yeah, that's the thing. They process on some of these. They process every 18 months. They process a reverse split. I mean, I don't get the argument of this.
No, me neither.
But FINRA's been really cracking down on allowing or disallowing reverse splits based on previous history. So it's like things have changed since they did that reverse split till now. Now they're really limiting key companies from listing or from doing a reverse split if they've done one in the last few years, or if they have a history of doing them on a regular basis. And the process is taking like 6 to 8 months. Anyways.
Yeah, it takes a long time. But I think there is a couple out there that had the reverse split like last year, and they already have another one now. So I guess if the company's is clean in the background that FINRA looks at, then they still process many reverse splits, I guess. I don't know what they look really after.
This AVVH has been a bag forever, basically, and I mean, every time they think they're getting somewhere with it, they get dumped on, and I don't think it's worth anyone's time. Sybil made that great move after getting rid of the CE, and now obviously just getting unloaded on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good luck.
It's not that surprising, I guess, because Sybil has a couple of guys, with huge amounts of notes and shares and whatnot.
Yeah, they do.
And they wanted to cash in. Also, they just presented their quarter, and I mean they went Q to Q. They went like from 50 million to 5 million in revenues. obviously they have a business that fluctuates a lot, but some people certainly were not too happy.
No, because they were expecting it to be a lot higher, given the fact that they had those drone deals in Ukraine and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that was another reason why it really collapsed lately. I think.
Look at that.
Yeah, and the prior quarter had like 50 million or 53 or something like this.
Yikes.
So,
yeah, there it is there, yeah. Okay, well, good luck to them with that. DKSC, I guess they're working on a merger. Maybe you want to talk about this, Shido. I know that people are excited about it.
Yeah. I mean, money also mentioned it. Yeah, it's firming up. I mean, we have been waiting on that merger for a while now. There were some rumors that it's falling through. The company came out yesterday, I think, on Twitter and said that's not true. It's still going. They still go for the merger. So there has been more buying again lately, and it's firming up lately. It's not bad. I mean, we will see what they eventually bring in here, and if they can close that deal. You're right. I mean,
and then I guess Olaf been on the move a bit. You found something in the filings, or?
Yeah, a few weeks ago already I found that, and I posted it on Twitter. They have. Can you open up the last queue and go to the subsequent events?
Sure.
You might be there faster than I find my tweet. Can you? Let me check.
So we got the cryptoverse thing that they spun out.
Yeah, they had the. Let me just look it up. Okay, so I have it. Under the subsequent events, they said NextGen has forgiven all notes and will be issued 500,000 shares of non-restricted stock that will be issued in Q4. OWUF has entered into a stock purchase agreement, and the transfer of ownership will happen in Q4. So that's the thing. Obviously, there is some fantasy for a change of control or whatever that CEO wants to do. I have no idea. Change of ownership should be a change of control, I guess. I'm not sure. We will see what they will come up with, but it's not the worst setup. Obviously, it's maxed.
No, it's a good setup. I remember it made a great move, and I mean they had the airless tires, didn't they?
Yeah, they had a lot, and they once had that. You remember that $100 million contract?
Yes.
Obviously, that was never seen anymore again.
No, they had all these giant contracts. They said and merger and deals they said they were doing, and then every quarter I would look at the balance sheet and they were nowhere to be found. It was mind-boggling.
It's to be taken with a grain of salt, but the setup is not bad. 77 million float, and the maxed OS for a while now. They never increased that AS. I haven't double checked that on SOS, but I think it's still 200 million, so it's maxed. So they are not selling. For now,
interesting. Kittle's a good setup that needs a reverse merger, though. I mean, these guys selling their pasta sauce, pack it in. You know what I mean? Like someone could buy this shell and do really well. There's no volume and no price action right now, but it's one to put on your radar for a merger deal.
It's a shell?
No, they have a business, but they're selling pasta sauce on Shopify. So
that famous.
What's their share structure look like?
He's gone again, I guess.
It's a good setup.
That's not bad. So I wonder what they're asking for Clear Trust. I know their transfer agent.
There's no way to get volume right now with pasta sauce, so it would be an issue of can they get it? Would someone buy that shell? you know.
But you know, when I see that setup down at trip 8 and more or less nobody cares, you know.
Yeah.
That's been amazing in the last few years. That has gotten a lot worse, because I remember a few years ago, I mean, can you imagine how many would have absolutely hammered this if you found a trip 8 stock with 150 million float?
Oh, dude, we would have run it for shits and giggles.
Yeah. And sometimes if I see a setup like this right now, and initially I think that's unbelievable, you have to buy this, and then you see more and more, you know, you realize that it's not that much of an exception anymore. You see this similar and this similar. There is crazy stuff going on. I mean, there's 100 million floats in near trips, you know.
Yeah, and it's just funny because there was a period of time where I was buying them, and then I was like, oh well, you know, they're gonna go for this any moment, you know what I mean? And then I'd just be sitting there for months and going, it just doesn't work that way anymore, you know.
This is something that definitely changed over the years.
Yeah.
This wasn't the case. People just don't care. I mean, there's not enough people that care about finding such a setup anymore. No. Because they rather do, like, I don't know, cat coins. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I mean, I had one that I bought today, 1,000% gain.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
1,000%.
I know they have these gains all the time, and I still can't manage to get into this stuff because it's just so annoying. But I mean, I guess if you make the money, it's less annoying. But
yeah, I'm starting to turn the corner with it. But you know, I think the interesting realization of this is, and I think the failure of some of these companies in a way is that people would rather buy a coin of a cartoon cat than pretend like these are good companies. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the sadness of it. You know what I mean? Is for someone to look at this and go, well, you know, I can pretend this is good, or I can buy a funny joke. And the fact that they would rather do that says a lot about how poorly managed this situation has become.
Yeah, I mean, there would be a third possibility. Don't pretend it's good, but still take it as a trading vehicle, you know?
But that's what's so funny about it, is that someone can post a cat coin and people will go, oh, okay, well, you got a cat coin, cool. Someone will post OTC and they turn into Columbo on your ass about the notes and you know what I mean, and they're ready to detect you about, you know, whether or not they really have pasta sauce for sale. So like, it's so funny to me that if you post an OTC, you're up against the firing squad. But then a cat coin, people are like, oh, cool.
And this is part of the problem OTC has. It's part of the problem because people look at this stuff and want to analyze it as if it was a blue chip. And they don't do that with a cat coin because they don't have the desire to do that on a cat coin.
They know it's not going to make sense.
They have the desire to analyze like a trip 8 stock with, I don't know, like $3 in revenues, like a blue chip fundamentally. And that's the problem, you know, and that's the mistake they make.
Yeah, well, and that's why, you know, a lot of the OTCs that I do trade, I don't really talk about anymore because I know posting an OTC has almost zero impact. You know what I mean? And then, and then I have to defend the position versus where, you know, like there's people with hundreds of thousands of followers that are posting a coin about an ass. Yeah. And there's no, and even if it goes to zero, there's no questions.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a real alternative to the OTC stuff, and I think it's the worst thing that could have ever happened to the OTC market.
Yeah.
Besides all the other problems, but if you have a stop sign or you don't have a stop sign, if you have an expert market, if you have to learn some deadline rules, it's all manageable, I think, over time, because people, as you always say, people always came back to this market because you can make out of a little money, you can make a lot of money, you know? And now they have something else to go to. So they don't need to come back to the OTC. It's the single worst enemy of the OTC. And that's my biggest concern going forward as an OTC trader. That if this
and
stays,
that's what's so sad about it, is that they had a good sandbox here that they could have regulated and they could have kept an eye on and maybe loosen up a little, and people could have felt more comfortable holding things, and they could have allowed a little bit of freedom here and been able to keep that money safer versus things that are going directly to zero on the crypto market. And unfortunately, they chose to let it go, and now we're here. And that for that Gary Gensler who's resigning, I wonder if he's being honest with himself about what he did here with the OTC, if he is proud of the fact
He should be.
that people who he was supposedly protecting are now in the jaws of death with international syndicates of scammers in cryptocurrency. Like, I wonder if he really feels anyone's been protected at all. I doubt it.
Yeah. And I wonder how.
Wait, hold up. Shido, hold on 1 second. Yeah, he protected some people, but I think they were his friends.
Yeah, I mean, also what he did with XRP and some of the bigger coins wasn't friendly, wasn't retail friendly.
Yeah,
he's not a retail friend, I guess. But on the meme coin side, Pat, do you see this staying with us?
Yeah,
For good now?
Yeah, this is happening. And, I think young people have felt that they've been priced out of the stock market for quite some time now, and priced out of everything else, homes, cars, everything. And to the point that, for them to invest long-term on a stock market that's parabolic, that basically is just 100% held by boomers, or take a shot, at a meme coin. And now with the ease of use of Solana, because that was always the issue, and that was part of the reason that the meme coins didn't take off originally. It's because it was so expensive to trade them, with the gas fees and difficult to trade them. But now with Solana, I mean, that you can move a multi-$1,000 position for $1. You can do it instantly off of a wallet. I mean, the ease of access now, I mean, we're just on the cusp of something that people don't fully understand how big it could be. So, this is happening. I mean, every day, like multiple times a day, people have a shot at life-changing money. And you look at coins that are doing dollar volume that would blow your mind. I mean, Simp did $22 million in the last 24 hours.
That Chill Guy is still up top.
Chill Guy, 45
He's up
cents.
top.
Think about this. 45 cents in less than a week from quads.
Jiminy Christmas.
$500 million into it today. So
$1 billion. And what is it? It's a little meme of a dog.
But that's
not
the
meme,
point of it. I mean, it's so silly. But I mean, they would rather that than trade the OTC right now. That's how painful the OTC has become to them. You know?
Yeah, but isn't the reason they prefer that because I don't know how to really say this to not offend people, but they don't have to think about a whole lot of stuff with the coins compared to OTC, right? I mean, they don't have to read the filing, they don't have to learn about deadlines, about rules, about that stuff. They don't have to look into any of that stuff. I mean, they just go there and throw $200 on a coin on a dog coin.
But that's unfortunately, like, we had that once, all in a way. I mean, you could buy a stop sign, you're hearing something about a merger. Hey, cool, I'll buy it, whatever, see what happens, throw a couple $100 at it, whatever, man. You know what I mean? Like, that, we had that once. And now it's like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to go gray tomorrow. I don't know, like, did they file on time? My broker won't let me buy it. Like, the list is endless of bullshit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm running into a hard stop, guys. That's what I got.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah. Just somebody is asking about RDGL.
Oh, sorry about that. Let's see.
I have never traded this one. I don't follow this one, so I couldn't tell you my opinion. I don't know about you, Pat. Obviously, we know the symbol for a long time, but I've never followed it. It's not a setup I would be interested in. I mean, no. And I don't know.
Basically, I think all you could do here. I mean, first of all, what's your time worth? But second of all, you want to pick it up and find out if it loses 08, it's probably time to go.
Yeah, I think that should be a hard stop because that's so obvious as a support level.
Yeah.
You got to do that, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, you may just be sitting there for a very, very long time doing nothing. I mean, so
there's a lot of red in the last few.
Yeah.
2 months.
I don't know the dilution history. I don't know much about it.
No. Canine sarcoma.
Pull up this one stock. It's not an OTC stock, but I was given an alert on it a while ago.
I won't be
last
able
stock
to.
of
I'm
the
going
day.
to have to roll.
Last one. It's IONQ. I think I sent it to you.
What a move.
Jesus. It's still moving.
I missed that one.
Yeah, I hear you.
Bought a few shares at like 14.
Good golly.
Well, they're into is it cryogenic computing and AI?
Okay. One of these.
Not bad.
Yeah.
No.
I might have that word wrong. I think I do. But it's a mixture of computing and AI, and it's like the next move in the AI market. And I don't know. The stock is doing amazing. No complaints out of me.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Yeah.
See you later.
See you guys.
Have a good night, guys.
Hey, Josh, I sent you the Musk tweet, so you can look into it.
Oh, I'll post about it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Sheeta, you have a blessed night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, thanks for joining us right here on JRC Stock Talk. We're really here for you. So please go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel, JRC Stocks. Also, you can find us or me directly on Twitter. We do a lot of informational work on Twitter itself. It's the largest concentration of investors and traders in the market. Look up JRC_stocks. You'll find me. You can look up OTC Method, or his name is Kiko Stocks, or you can look up Shido_74. Contact us. Stay in touch with us. We want to hear your questions. We want to hear the companies you're looking at. We want to dive into the due diligence behind them. And as a community, we'll grow together. Can't do it alone. So if you need help with understanding due diligence or going after things, we're here for you. And if you have a company that is really got a lot of meat on the bone, but not a lot of exposure, I want to know about it. Send me a direct link to how I can get in touch with that company. I'll be happy to do everything I can to get them on the show for you so that we can ask direct questions from the horse's mouth, find out the most up-to-date due diligence information so that you can make a sound investment buying decision. Talk with your financial planner, talk with your brokers before doing so. And I appreciate you guys with all my heart.